for hosting me. There are a number of challenges which our girls in my constituency go through, and it's not only in my constituency, but Uganda as a country at large. One of them has been, of course, majorly it has been financial. And this has led to early child marriages due to school dropout. You find the parents cannot afford to pay school fees for the children, and of course this leaves the girl child with no option but to drop out and sit back home. And sometimes the parents have opted to give out their children for marriage advances, money advances for these young girls. And sometimes as a woman member of parliament, majorly the cases I've gotten are related to that. Some of them are related to incest, where you find relatives sleeping with these young girls below 18 years. They are impregnated. Then at the end of it all, the family members don't want this young girl to say it out. They fear to shame the family. But the future of the young girl is being killed like that. They can't go to report to police. That even when sometimes they go to police to report, you find the parents, the same parents now, the relatives who had gone to take the child to police, are the same people who are standing surety of the man who did the incest, or the relative who did the incest. And it leaves too much conflict between the family members. How can this young girl shame us? How can she try to smear mud on our own son that he has done ABC? Yet some of these, majorly these things are real. Recently, I got a case where a child was raped, I think, by a teacher at school, and she was in boarding school. They reached police. Police could not help them. As a member of parliament, I had to refer them to the minister in charge of children. And of course, unfortunately, I lost their contacts. I could no longer communicate. The contacts went off. And really, this child, if it was not for the parents to stand hard, away from home, even at school, some of them are going through the same harassment, sexual harassment by the teachers. So it is so unfortunate that teachers who are supposed to protect our children when they are at school, and the parents, some who are supposed to protect our children when they are at home, are the same people who are doing sexual harassment to this young girl. Some young girls have dropped out because of lack of sanitary pads. Lack of sanitary pads, the parents cannot afford. When the girl goes into her periods, she cannot afford the shame of staying in school, so they decide to stay at home and they miss classes. And sometimes even the parents who cannot afford a pad, at least a natural clothes to help out a young girl, they end up telling them, you are grown now. They are seeing breasts on the chest. They are seeing the girls have grown, the butts. Now they say, but now you have grown up, because she has started experiencing the menstrual periods. And as a woman member of parliament, I decided to come up with a project of supporting these young girls, more especially in government schools, the primary and secondary schools, with sanitary pads. These are reusable sanitary pads which can be washed, and at least it can take a term for the parents. And I've also gone ahead to ensure that we get tailors who can try to teach our mothers and the young girls how to mend these sanitary pads, so that it becomes cheap for them. In that even when you cannot afford to buy, at least you can make it with a needle at home. If you can make it, maybe you can, if you have a tailoring machine, you can make it at home. Even schools can be in position to make them for their children, hire people who can make them, mend them. At least they sell to the parents at a very, very cheap price. So as a member of parliament, woman member of parliament, I normally give them out of free to encourage our girl child to stay in school. But also tell them that periods are normal. Being in period doesn't mean that you have to drop out of schools. And we have also held different meetings with parents in different schools to sensitize them about these periods, adolescence. And of course, when we are doing it, we are also doing it to a boy child. And sometimes we so much prioritize the girl child over a boy child. And at the end of it all, if you educate your girl child, tomorrow you will find her going to marry the other boy child who did not go to school, and you end up not benefiting as a parent. So there are very many challenges Majorly, they raise it is because of lack of finances, poverty. Our parents who cannot afford to buy the school requirements. You find a girl being seduced by a young man or the other men who are eyeing at these young girls, and they end up making them lose their chances to remain in school. So, as the Office of the Woman Member of Parliament in Hoima City, we also have a campaign of sensitizing men, different professions, and most times when you go into the profession which has seduced these young girls, most times you find them, they are in these jobs, the casual jobs. If he's not a brickmaker, he's a border. I'm not saying all the borders are doing that, but majorly the borders who take these children maybe to school, and you find a parent is leaving a child totally to a border to take care. You come and pick my daughter. So in the, between school and home, you find things have been missed. And when you see the girl is pregnant, who has impregnated the one who has always given her transport to school? So I call upon our dear parents to take charge, to be so protective of our young girls, take care of them. Where you cannot afford, talk to these girls, counsel them, so that they should understand that though they are adolescents, though there is no money, they can still make it in that small, struggling way. But also our dear children, the young girl, the girl child, we also want to call upon you to be, when we used to be in school, they would call it straight talk, where we used to talk about the ABC strategy. Be abstaining. You abstain from sex, you're still young, your bodies are still young. Though you have gone into those adolescent stage, it doesn't mean you're ripe for marriage. You're ripe for to produce a young girl, a young child, a child producing a child. Being faithful. For those ones who cannot afford now, there are those ones who are at higher levels of education like campus. Being faithful to your love partners, and also using condoms where you cannot abstain. But also I want also to call upon you to be confident of yourself. Be confident of yourself. Trust, respect your parents. Trust in God. The fear of God is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom. When you fear God, wisdom, provision financially, requirements always come. You see things doing themselves out, and you say, what is this? This is God who is working. And finally, to our young girls also, dream high. Don't overestimate yourself. If you say you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, work for that, being a doctor. Me, I grew up from from a humble family. I've grown up. Me, I went to secondary. I went to boarding. I never went to boarding. I only went to boarding when I was doing my PLOE. Then I also went to boarding when I was doing senior 4. I also went to boarding when I was doing senior 6. I never had a chance. We would commit from home every other day. You walk over 20 kilometers every other day. And would meet men who are telling, yeah, I love you, you're beautiful. A man telling you you're beautiful doesn't mean that you are real beautiful. Some of them are telling you because they want to spoil your future. Others are telling you because they are seeing your beautiful eyes, your hips. The butts are there, the breast is young. So, but they want to kill your career. Your future is your education. When you study, the good men, handsome men, beautiful men, educated men of all classes will always find you. You will meet good husbands at the higher levels of education. So try to keep yourself safe from early marriages. And if by God, bad luck, it happens that you become pregnant, as Minister of Education, as government, there is a provision where the girl child who has given birth is supposed to go back and study. The parents don't over harass these children, young girls. If something has happened accidentally, give her the chance to produce the child. You give her another chance, second chance of going back to school, so that their future is protected. As a member of parliament, I've gotten over 300 young girls whom we have recruited in different projects, and majorly most of these projects have been skilling. There are girls who have been abandoned by their parents after becoming pregnant, and they have totally neglected them not to go back to school. So we normally enroll them for those skilling projects like tailoring, hairdressing, fashions and designs. Others we even send them to doing mechanics, others welding. And I also want to thank because KCB Bank helped us so much when they saw my programs, my projects, the projects of the Woman Member of Parliament. They gave in a hand. They came and we partnered with them. So I also call upon other partners who can come on board so that we can support these young girls. And we have seen results, positive results from this skilling. Now you can find young girls, others who have supported them financially. Someone tells me, if at least if I can get 100,000 or 200,000, at least I can start with a tin of tomatoes. I can start with a tin of Irish so that I can earn a livelihood for myself. And some of them have started earning a living out of this confidence, self-training skills. And we keep telling them that when you, after graduating, you also have to encourage more girls, more young girls, more single mothers who have been abandoned by men after impregnating them, to really keep motivating them that they can be even their dreams even after failing to make it in education, even after failing to get school fees, even after dropping out of school, even after getting early pregnancies. So we have kept encouraging them, and many are still coming up for more opportunities. So we call upon different institutions, the organizations which can also be in position to support us to uplift the future of a girl child. I also want to call upon parents, but also husbands. Husbands who still have the stereotype that when you empower a girl child, you have empowered them to manipulate you, you have empowered them to be uncontrollable even when they get chance of a good marriage, that you have empowered them to step on the heads of men. It is not true. So men, a boy child, we should fight that stereotype of thinking that if a woman is financially stable, if a woman is having a bigger job than yours, if a woman is better placed than you, a man, that one is source of domestic violence. So we condemn domestic violence, we condemn gender-based violence by men to our women who are being harassed, who are being beaten, who are being battered by men just because you see a woman. For instance, I'm a member of parliament. I become a member of parliament, then my husband, who is in a lower placed position, thinks that the time you spend in parliament, you are spending it with men, which is not true. The time you spend when you have gone to the market to do some trading, you are there with men. The time you spend when you have gone to your tailoring machine, when you have gone to somewhere to earn a living, you are there with men. So men, you should change your mentality against the women who have gotten an upper hand to support the family. When a woman is empowered, equally, the husband is empowered. When a woman is empowered, the child is empowered. Because no woman would want to see her child drop out of school when she is financially stable. No woman would want to see her young girl become impregnated, drop out of school, fail to get a sanitary pad of 2,000 shillings when she can afford. But of course, sometimes there are men, some not exceptional men, a few men, who are just not responsible, that they will leave everything for a woman even when they are earning something. If you start working and you're better placed, you say now, if you want to work, I will no longer provide for a family. If you are not accepting going by my rules, I will abandon you and your children. Men who are still intimidating men in such kind of way that if a woman is empowered financially, you not support them. Don't support them, then they support themselves. Because tomorrow, if you are no more, if you happen to get anything, maybe I'm not, by God's will, maybe you die today or you get an accident and the woman has been made to be a true housewife. You can't go anywhere. You can't, it becomes so hard for the woman to take care of a family. Allow women to be empowered economically. Then you men, you'll be the happiest in your family. When a woman is also providing for a family, you become relieved. When you don't have and the woman have, that is a happy family. She's so supportive. The children cannot drop out of school. They cannot be early marriages. They cannot be the poor sanitation women, young girls failing to get sanitary pads, leading them to school dropout. So we call upon our parents, both the fathers and the mothers of this country, to embrace. Where a man feels unsafe of a marriage, where a woman has really gotten an economic empowerment, maybe has gotten a better placed position to provide for a family, you seek for counseling services. Counseling services so that you know that in the world where we are going, both a woman, both a girl child and a boy child need to be at least earning a livelihood to be able to support each other financially, support each other in terms of livelihood, and support the family, and to also have a lively and happy family and a happy marriage.